Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to this Bulls Digital Update. My name is Paul Peck, and we're talking a little men's tennis here at UB because Lee Nickell, the head coach of the UB men's tennis team, is joining us. Season is underway, Lee, but before we talk about your season, I want to talk about what may have set the tone for your season, which is everybody in Western New York likes to take a little trip to Florida to get their minds straight. You did that with your team. I want you to tell everybody about it and how valuable it's been.
Yeah, we went down to Florida with the guys right after the winter break, early January, and we went down for about 7 days and, bonded, did some team bonding, really got some good work in, worked with some training, and really got the guys ready for the season. Got to enjoy some nice weather, compete against each other, and that was a really fun trip, and it certainly brought us together, made us feel confident as we were going into our first week of competition.
We've seen a lot of teams do that across all sports, not only in college athletics, but even in the pros sometimes. The value that came from getting the guys out in good weather playing on the courts was one thing, but what did you do to try to get that team together? You referenced it. You're an individual sport, but you play as a team. Was that almost as big a goal in that trip?
It was. I think we've added some new pieces to our team and some new players, and even from last year, Nick and Matt coming in the spring, and it's just you're thrown to the fire right away. And it was kind of meant for us to get together, understand that even though it's an individual sport, it doesn't matter if you're the number 1 player or you're the number 8 player. Every point counts the same, and we've got to work together and fight together. And we pushed them hard, and they responded really well.
All right, so the trip to Florida to set the tone for the season sets the tone for the season because you roll right into a big win over Harvard, a very significant victory in the world of men's tennis. Can you see a connection between that trip and the way your guys started?
Oh, for sure, absolutely. That trip really did give us a little bit of a leg up as we went into that match with Harvard, and we had a lot of preparation and we were ready to go.
What did you learn about your team in that match against Harvard?
Honestly, I don't think we played just out of this world. I think we just competed the way that I'd hoped we would compete every match. And so going out there, we knew as we were coming out, we had this feeling everybody was walking up. We had really good, confident look to us, and we started quick in dubs, and just the energy and the fight and the passion was there all the way through, and that was something great to see.
All right, so as the season has advanced on, there have been some more significant wins. There's been a couple of matches that I'm sure you're not all that happy about. As the season's gone on, are you getting a little feel for where your team kind of fall?
I wish. I think we're still a work in progress, to be quite honest. I don't think I recognized how significant that win over Harvard was, and I think that what that ended up doing was not only does it put a target on our back, it also against some teams that we're equal with. Even like the Penn State match, there's not one team that's going to take us lightly anymore. And for us to, we're a great underdog team. That's when we play our best. But when we're got the target on our back, we're not quite good at it. And it showed against the Temple, and it showed against North Florida, and in this last weekend. But it's kind of been a matter of us just focusing on competing all the way through. And we've had Mercer, which was a fantastic win outside, first match outside in 30-mile-per-hour winds. We did great with that one. And then we took it to Quinnipiac, who's a very good team too. So it's kind of been an A or an F each match, and we're really looking for a little bit more consistency through. And I think that's just going to come from leadership and kind of going back to what we learned while we were down in Florida.
All right, well, speaking of leadership, you really only have one senior that I know you're going to rely on a lot for your leadership this season, and that's Ethan NITTOLO. Tell me where his responsibility falls, not only in being one of your best players, but trying to help your team iron out those ups and downs.
Sure. I mean, Ethan and our associate head coach, Tony, were part of that 2017 team that we did so well. We swept the MAC and went to NCAAs. And the reason that we were so good was because of their leadership then. And so what's happened here with Ethan now is his game has improved. He's gone from 6 to 1. He's, he's worked. He's done everything we've asked of him, and it shows in his results. And that leadership comes from his example for sure, but just trying to get him a little bit more outspoken in a positive way with the guys, and getting them to understand the work and effort that he put in to get to this level is something that we're relying on him. And I know the guys see that, and I know the respect is there. It's just a matter of getting us all to do it.
All right, why don't you touch a little bit on a couple of other your key performers, Willie Friedel, and then Nick FRISK and Matt Johnson.
So Willy's stepped in at 1 and 2 along with Ethan as well, and Willy's just known as one of the greatest competitors around. And that respect comes from all the other coaches. It comes from everybody that we meet. Everyone loves Willy, and he's been such a good leader on this team just by his example. And along with Ethan, we're trying to get them both to just be a little bit more outspoken, I guess is the right way to put it in terms of their leadership method. But you'll never find somebody that fights harder than both of those guys. But Willy especially, you watch him go out there, and he's everyone's favorite to watch just because every point is like his last point. And that's what we want everyone to have. And then I look at what Nick and Matt, NICKOLAS, FRISK, and Matt Johnson have done after a kind of a rough go last year. Coming in, we were trying to figure out lineup, and on my mistake, I kept kind of moving people around too much and didn't give them a good, consistent basis to play. And they both have fought through that. And now, every match that Nick wins, we win. Matt's been just unbelievable. They both are starting to realize the potential I've seen in them. And with their effort and their intensity and their positive attitude, that's where our team goes.
All right, lots of positives coming for Lee Nickell's men's tennis team here at UB. Trip to Ohio for a couple of matches over the weekend. Good luck in Cleveland. We'll look forward to catching up with you later on in the season.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Lee Nickell is the men's tennis coach here at UB, and we thank him for joining us on this Bulls Digital Update.